Hey guys, it's Dragon Ball for Life here. Today I'm back with another video, and as you can tell by the title of this video, it's going to be quite a controversial topic because, let's be honest, a lot of people are not going to agree with this video, and I'm fine with that. The whole point of these videos is to, bring out my opinion on certain topics or stuff like Dragon Ball and how I feel about it. And I know it's going to, go against a lot of the general consensus of, the majority of the audience. But this is just how I've always been. It's not that I'm just trying to be like, oh, I like things that people hate or hate things people like. It's just that personally, some things that people really like, I just don't understand why. And some things people hate, I don't understand that either. So it's like, I don't know. There's definitely people who think like me, but I'm pretty sure there's more people who would be the opposite. But that's fine. So let's get into this video. But before we do that, let's talk about a couple of things. One, I'm not going to be posting on my Twitter anymore because I got banned again, and to be honest, I don't want to deal with the whole watching what I say and this and that. I'm a more aggressive type of person when I talk to somebody, especially if they say something stupid or disrespectful. I'm not the type of person to be like, oh, just let things go. No, I'm gonna come after you. So when I'm on Twitter and I see people making stupid takes or saying stupid things, I can be pretty aggressive, and Twitter doesn't like that. So yeah, my account has been banned again. To be honest, I deleted the app. I'm not gonna go back onto it until Elon Musk takes control of it and there's no more censoring. When the censoring's gone, then I'm gonna get back onto it. I'm gonna just say whatever the hell I want, and you guys can follow then. But for at least 6 months, I'm not gonna be posting anything. Also, I want to give a huge shout out to Mr. Jazz, my new subscriber. It always helps out the channel when I get a new subscriber. I always love seeing new subscribers when I see it up there, when my subscribe count goes up or my views go up or whatever, or comments. It always makes me happy because it shows not only the growth of my channel, but it shows that people really care about what I'm making, what I'm talking about, and the videos that I'm making. And I enjoy doing this also on top of that. So yeah, that's nice. Thank you to Mr. Jazz once again. And sorry to anybody who have never shouted out. It's just that when it comes to YouTube, it's weird because with YouTube, it sends me notifications of certain people that subscribe. It shows me their names, so whenever I see it, I shout out. But a lot of people that have subscribed, it doesn't show their names, so I don't get the chance to. So I'm just gonna say it right now. Thank you to all the people that subscribed, to those who I've saw, and to those people who I haven't got to see. So sorry for that. Now let's get into the video itself. Like I said, this is gonna be a very controversial topic, and there's a lot of things that I'm going to say that a lot of people are going to be hating, but it's just the honest truth from my side. This arc has been, for me, it is is my least favorite, and it's the worst arc I have seen in Dragon Ball Z. Not all of Dragon Ball, obviously Super has way worse, and GT too, but when it comes to Dragon Ball Z, this is my least favorite arc. I absolutely love the Saiyan saga. I love the Frieza saga. Don't really like this one, Android/Cell saga, and I love the Buu saga. And for me personally, there's a lot of things that I hate about it, but it makes me hate it even more when people absolutely love and overhype it. And like I said, I'm not saying that just because I hate something because other people love it. I'm saying that is because I personally don't think it's that great. I thought there was a lot of faults in it, a lot of stupid stuff that didn't make sense, a lot of things that they should have done differently or just shouldn't have done at all. And I feel like a lot of people give this arc way too much praise, saying this is the peak of Dragon Ball, this is the best, that, when in reality, it's nowhere near that good. It's a lot of faults in it, there's a lot of stupid stuff, and to be honest, it didn't really do much for the Dragon Ball franchise as a whole. It doesn't push anything of the story. You could remove this and put a different story in there, and I feel like, the story of Dragon Ball wouldn't really change as that much. I just feel like it's overhyped, and it pisses me off even more when, like I said, when people love it but also hate on Buu saga because they say Buu saga is the worst, it's stupid, it's dumb, it's this. But I'm like, you say that, but then you see the Cell saga and you act like it made sense when majority of it made no sense or was just dumb writing. So I think if you guys can keep on talking trash about the Buu saga, I think it's fair for me to disrespect this one because I absolutely hate this one. Every time I watch this, I despise it. I despise Cell. I despise the Android saga. I despise the Android arc. I just despise almost everything about it. There's some certain things that I do like, but as a whole, I just hate it. And when you hear my opinions, some of you might understand what I mean, and other people might be like, okay, this guy just doesn't like stuff that is very popular or whatever. So let's get into it. Now, the beginning of this arc itself alone was dumb to me, and I hated it. Now, when we first start off, it was, Trunks. He takes out Frieza and his soldiers and his dad, and then he reveals to Goku that he's from the future and what happens with Dr. Zoro, the Red Ribbon Army come back, Dr. Zoro, and all this other stuff. And that's where the problems rise for me. For one, the threat is the Red Ribbon Army. The last time Red Ribbon Army was a big threat was all the way back in early on Dragon Ball, and at that time Goku was like, I think like 12, maybe. I think he was 15. No, he was 12 at that time, definitely. Yeah, he was 12 at that time, and now Goku is like a grown-ass adult, and they're back to being a threat again, which it doesn't make much sense to me that an organization that was just comprised of humans and with advanced human technology can become a threat. It's like, I get it, technology, you can make some powerful like weapons and stuff, but what we've seen with these characters at this point, they are planet busters. They can move faster than the speed of light. They can, do crazy stuff. And you're telling me that Earth technology and Earth money and stuff can rival that of the power that they went through, what they've done. It just never made sense to me. This arc was always dumb that this would be a threat. So I do not like the fact that they brought back the Red Ribbon Army, even though they shouldn't be a threat at this point. Then the whole Dr. Zoro thing. When I first watched this, in the Z, when I was watching Z, I didn't watch Dragon Ball at that time. And when I watched Z, I was like, who the hell is the Red Ribbon Army? Who's Dr. Zoro? And I was like, maybe it was a threat when he was younger, and they do mention that. And I was like, okay, so it was a threat back then? And I was like, so he might have been a big enemy and he just got away or whatever happened. And so when I finished, Z, I automatically went to watching Dragon Ball. And I watched the Red Ribbon Army arc. And when I saw that, I'm like, wait, first of all, the Red Ribbon Army got completely destroyed. Second of all, Dr. Zoro was never ever mentioned in that. Third of all, the androids were stated to be created by a different person. So Dr. Zoro being mentioned like we should know who he is does not make sense. He's a complete asspull. People always talk about, Super Saiyan wasn't foreshadowed or stuff like that, which is not true. It was foreshadowed by Guru. It was foreshadowed heavily. People saying that's an asspull are complete morons, and I'm surprised that they act like they know anything about Dragon Ball. Super Saiyan was definitely mentioned. Dr. Zoro, on the other hand, was not. So Dr. Zoro does not make sense to me as a character because, like I said, for one, if he had such a big part in the Red Ribbon Army, wouldn't he have been mentioned? He was never mentioned then. Obviously, Toriyama just made him up now, but it doesn't make sense because Weary God stated that the person who created the robot the androids was not evil, and he was from the village. So to say now that Dr. Zoro did it is definitely a retcon. And to be honest, it doesn't make sense because he just comes out of nowhere. They're like, oh yeah, Dr. Zoro. And it's like, why the hell would any of us know who he is when he was never mentioned in the original and you're trying to go based off of the original? So I did not like that idea either, where they just dropped in this guy was a scientist, a part of the Red Ribbon Army. We never mentioned him for whatever reason. And even though we mentioned somebody else being the creator of the androids, now we're saying that he is, and you're just going to have to go with it. So I did not like that idea either. And then, what happened, the whole story about, them creating cyborgs, which, Android 17 and 18 were just humans that were cybernetically enhanced. I never thought of that as interesting to I never thought of that making any sense to me because, like, yeah, I guess if you enhance humans with the robotic technology, they would get stronger. But would they really get that much stronger? I mean, previously to this, we saw Goku fighting Frieza, a galactic alien tyrant who owned most of planets in the universe, who had the power to destroy planets and move faster than the speed of light. How the hell is technology from Earth gonna make humans that strong? If you think about it logically, putting machines or metal into humans, even the strongest or hardest metals cannot tank planet destroying attacks. Even the highest levels of energy that you can put into a human should not be equivalent to planet busting. That is just ridiculous. So that concept alone was stupid, and I felt like it would have made more sense early on in the Dragon Ball story, but at this point where they fought against characters of this level of power magnitude, for you to make these other characters this powerful, it would be ridiculous and not make any sense, if you understand what I mean. So I did not like that part. I thought it was kind of dumb. And then we had Goku dying to a heart virus. Once again, another thing that just came out of Toriyama's ass. There was no foreshadowing to him having any connection to a disease. They just randomly said, yep, he has a disease. Also, let's be honest, that's kind of a lame way for Goku to die, is he gets some heart virus and dies from it. You would think as a Saiyan, you would think him as a Saiyan, physically, his body would be stronger than that of a human's. So when you see him being taken down by a heart virus, it just made no sense to me. I always hated this. Goku got killed by a heart virus. That shit is dumb. This was simply Toriyama saying, hey, look, if Goku stayed in there, Goku would have probably won. Or also, if we did kill him off due to these threat, then it would have made Goku look weak, and we want to make it look like he had the chance or whatever. We don't want to just make him look weak, so we would rather have him die by a virus. But that makes him look pathetic that he would be killed by a heart virus. And apparently even a Super Saiyan couldn't stop it. I just felt that that was also stupid. And then, when we have they have the discussion with Bulma, Bulma says to them, she's like, well, why don't we just use the dragons to locate him and then kill him? And Vegeta's like, no, I want to fight. And Goku's like, well, he hasn't done anything wrong, so we can't kill him for that. And this pissed me off because I was like, I agree with Bulma. You could have eliminated this threat. And I hate this in story writing when you have, you have a way where you could have got rid of the problem, but they don't because of plot's sake. It's like, well, we need to have this story to happen. And I'm fine with that. I understand that. But why write that into the story at all? Because by having Trunks there to tell him in time, this basically means that the only reason this story went through is because these guys were being selfish. So it's like, it's not that... it's just a dumb way of doing it, It could have been avoided, but simply it wasn't because plot says, hey, it has to happen. So to me, it's kind of lazy. And I agree with Bulma. The whole point that they let him live and enact his plan simply because they wanted a challenge is kind of dumb. And it's even dumber what Goku said, saying he hasn't done anything wrong. Like, that doesn't matter. He's attempting to do something. His plan is going into motion. Just because it hasn't come through fruition yet does not mean he's not going to do something messed up. That is such a dumb argument to make, that saying, well, he hasn't done anything wrong. He is going to do something wrong. It's not like something that changed his life later on in the future and then he does something wrong. He was already planning to do something wrong, and you're just going to stop him before he enacts his plan. And so that argument fell through, and it was dumb to me. And then let's go with all the changes, because you can see that the thing was, they made so many changes in this arc because of the editor, and I respect the editor for doing this, because Toriyama's vision for this arc was stupid, if I'm being honest. But when you do make those different changes every time, it does kind of make this story kind of sloppy, like it was just forced in and forcibly written. Because first we had Android 19 and 20 were supposed to be the threats, Dr. Gero and the overweight mime android. They were supposed to be a threat, but his editor said that they look pathetic and stupid, which I agree. If they were the main villains, it would have been dumb. Then we got Android 17 and 18, which he also was like, I don't like this, which I also agree. And then he got Cell, and then we got the different form Cell, but it seemed very and it didn't seem like it fit very well, especially with the introduction of Cell. We're having this threat between the the androids, and a threat like Cell randomly pops up. It seems kind of like forced, like, well, we need to have this in there. And I do think he handled it best as he could with the changes that came in through the editing process. But I still do think it's just random. When you watch the arc, and whenever you see the androids being a threat, and then automatically shifts to, Cell is now, there's a creature now here named Cell that's a threat. It just felt like it feels like you're watching a different story altogether. That's why I usually say the Android / Cell saga, because it feels like two different arcs in one story. It seems like the beginning arc was just the androids, and then this one was the Cell saga, and just focusing on Cell himself, which, like I said, it's a weird departure, and it doesn't come together. It doesn't flow very consistently well. It just seems misplaced, if I'm being honest. So yeah, I did not like that aspect either. And then the androids, well, they're not androids, they're cyborgs, 17 and 18. Them beating up them and being that powerful, like I said, doesn't make sense to me that they're that powerful and stuff or whatever. And then we have Cell. Cell is a fan favorite. Cell, people really love Cell. Personally, I hate Cell. I think he is the lamest, worst villain of all time in Dragon Ball. He is absolutely trash. And the reason I say this, for a couple of reasons. One, Cell does not have a purpose. I know a lot of the Dragon Ball characters, people say they don't have a purpose, but at least their one kind of makes sense. Like Frieza, he's a greedy guy. He was greedy, and he wanted to control and rule the universe because he's a psychopath, and that's just how psychopaths do it. And with Vegeta and all the other Saiyans, this is just how they're raised. This is in their DNA. Vegeta is the Prince of Saiyans, so he has pride in this. You see Majin Buu. Buu actually had more interesting and in more depth than Cell did, especially Fat Buu. Fat Buu, he wasn't evil just to be evil. He was evil because he was, because of how he was created and also how he was led by, I forgot it was Bibby or Bobbity. By Bobbity, he was, raised to be evil, and he didn't know right from wrong. And when he talked to Hercule changed his mind, and he became a better person. That is far more in depth than what Cell ever was. And even if you say Kid Buu or Super Buu and stuff like that, personally I don't like Super Buu because it just reminded me of not Super Buu himself. I think he was cool, but Super Buu, when he absorbed Goten and Gotenks and Gohan, he started becoming just a carbon copy of Cell, which I already hated Cell, so I hated that version of him. And Kid Buu, he was just a straight up menace. He was just cool. He was badass. And also his plan was to wipe out, systematically destroy all life in existence because he's pure evil. Whereas him, he was like, well, I want to I want to challenge. Why? Why do you need to destroy everybody? I don't know. Even the androids, 17, 18 in Trunks' timeline, they're humans that were cybernetically enhanced, and now they're just wiping out humans and don't give a shit. It's like, why? They're like, well, we were, I guess, programmed, but we also didn't follow the program because we killed our master, and we're just going to do this for whatever reason, just sadistic pleasure, I guess. So I didn't understand that either. That was kind of dumb to me. Also, we were told prior to this, and even towards the end of this arc, where it's like, the half Saiyans have high potential, but if we're being honest, the only person that we showed that had high potential was Gohan. Gohan, got the power boost, became Super Saiyan 2 first, and defeated Cell. But Trunks already had Super Saiyan. He went through even more harsh of a timeline. You would think Trunks would have gotten an insane power boost, but he was only barely above, Vegeta, and that was only because Vegeta didn't want to, use this the Ultra form, and Goku surpassed him easily. So he was also half Saiyan, but he never showed the level of potential as Gohan, and neither did Future Gohan, because Future Gohan also went through hardship and had Super Saiyan for years and never obtained Super Saiyan 2, so it was not very consistent also in that regard of the whole, they're half-breeds, because those guys were half Saiyans too, but only that main timeline Gohan got a significant power boost, showcasing to me that Toriyama does not know what the hell he was doing and just simply wanted to give Gohan, the spotlight. And so yeah, there's that. Cell, like I said, the reason why I personally hate Cell is there's a couple of things that I hate about him. I like the first form Cell. Second Cell, don't really give a shit about. The final form Cell, I love the design, I love the abilities, I hate the character. He is such an obnoxious, lame-ass character. He reminds me of those rich prep kids who like, oh, you're beneath me. So it's like, I do not like him already that because when you look at these villains in Dragon Ball, you expect them to be cool badasses. Like Frieza, even though he was like, suave and stuff like that, you can see him as more of a maniacal, like, businessman who would murder anybody just to get up ahead in society, and, he's like a psychopath. Whereas Cell, he seemed like a preppy kid. He seemed like this rich prep kid that felt like he was better than everybody, which is lame to me to envision a super villain from, this series to be a preppy, like a snobby kid. It's just lame of you think about it. From the mannerisms, the way he talked, the way he acted, he seemed like you would see a prep kid, and that does not shout out cool to me. That shouts out as lame as hell to me. That seems pretty lame to me. There's nothing really cool about that. Also, he talked a big game, but whenever he was in danger, he became the biggest bitch. He would cry and whine, what's happening? At least when Frieza did it, it was more like he was so full of himself that when you shattered that illusion, he just couldn't handle it, and he would lose his mind. And that was cool, concept, because it's like he's usually calm and composed until his reality is shattered. Then he loses it. He becomes like unhinged. Whereas Cell's one, he starts crying and whining. It's just like, you led to this, and then when he does get the advantage again, he pushes it again. Like, it makes no sense. First, he was like, he was pushing Gohan to go in rage, and once he went Super Saiyan 2, he realized he made a big mistake. And I would be like, okay, that's fine. That makes sense. He thought he was the shit, and then he got put in a situation where he realized he wasn't. But then when he came back and, Gohan was defeated and, he could have wiped him out, he was pushing him again. I was like, what the hell? You already dealt with this. The first time you talked big game, I gave you a free pass because it's like, you probably didn't know. And then once you did, you were bitching. But I was like, okay, he didn't know. But then you do it again. And you're just going to bitch again. Why the hell are you doing this? At this point, he was just being stupid. Like, he was pushing him last time because he didn't understand the dangers that he was going to be in. But now he understands the threat and the danger he's going to be in. And he still pushes him again. He's like, I'm disappointed in you. I wanted more of a challenge. No, you didn't. Shut the fuck up. That's bullshit. When you did get a challenge, you bitched and cried the entire time. You weren't like, oh yes, I love this fight. You were crying about it. And now you're saying, oh yeah, I want a challenge again. No, you don't, bitch. Last time you cried, and then what happened again? When he started fighting back, he started crying again. I do not like that. He's a whiny ass character. He wants a fight. Like he acts like he wants smoke, but when he gets it, he starts acting like a bitch. And his personality is just like a preppy kid. It's lame to me. There's nothing really cool or special about him. Also, his plans really was lame. I do like the idea of the Cell Saga and seeing terror in people. That I thought was cool. But as a whole, he was just lame. Most of his personality was lame as shit. I think he's a whack-ass character. From the way he talks, to the way he acts, to, his mentality, to just him as a whole, he's just lame. I do like the concept of, having different Saiyan cells and stuff and creating that, but him as a whole was trash. So there was that with the problem. And then the ending. I know a lot of people love this, and I know this is going to give me the most flag, but I don't give a shit. Gohan, taking the helm and, defeating him, I do not care for it. I know a lot of people love the Gohan moment and want Gohan to be pushed. Personally, when I hear people say they want Gohan to be the main character and take over from Goku, I tell you, I'm so fucking happy that didn't happen. I'm happy that these fans did not get jack shit what they wanted, because that would have been a stupid path. If I'm being honest, you can say Gohan's more in-depth character, but Goku's a far more interesting and far more fun character than Gohan. Gohan is lame to me. I have never understood why people love Gohan so much. Gohan to me is a whack-ass character. People say they make connections to him. First of all, there's only two personalities Gohan has. It's either being a crybaby, whiny little bitch, or being an arrogant dickhead. And both of those aspects I do not like about him. Goku's confident. He's, he might be, sometimes he might be reckless, but at least he is fun. He is somebody who wants to smoke and is not afraid. Whereas Gohan is usually crying about it like a little bitch. And it makes me laugh when people are nowadays saying, look at how they ruined Gohan. I'm just like, this is what his character's always been. He's always been a bitch. He was meant to be a bitch. And the fact that you guys are mad about it is like, you guys are idiots. I don't know if the Dragon Ball fan base is complete morons, or these guys are just love a character so much to the point where they ignore all the other aspects. It's like, this is who his personality was always as. If you don't like what he has become in this, then that basically means you do not like Gohan in general. But the fact that people dick ride him, it just shows me that these guys are too stupid and don't understand the character themselves. You can't be complaining about this when this is literally who he is. If you don't like that, then just say you don't like Gohan. But I see people saying they love Gohan but don't like that aspect. That is who he is. Personally, that's the reason why I hated him, because that's who he is. I always expected him to go down that route of being a little bitch, because he was a bitch. Like I said, he only has two modes. Either being a whiny little bitch where I'm like, oh, shut the fuck up, or being arrogant as hell. I'm just like, okay, he's obnoxious. Goku was confident, but at least with Goku's confidence, and his supposed arrogance at times, he was, just regularly confident. He wouldn't do that. And he was always about the smoke. That's what I respect about Goku. Goku is one of those tough sons of bitches that you can respect and admire. You might not like everything they do or say, but at least you can be like, this is a real man. This is a guy that does not back down. He's not afraid. He's willing to do what he has to. Whereas Gohan, he's one of those, I can't do it. Maybe we should. He saw his dad, his friends, everybody cared about getting beaten and almost killed, and just could not let go. The only reason he went off was because somebody, this was dumb to me. Android 16 gave him the speech, and it was a nice speech, but let's be honest. You're seeing your father and your friends being hurt and killed, and that's not enough to push you. But this random android that you've barely had a discussion with and knows you quite a bit, but not enough, he gets destroyed, and that's enough to trigger your response. Like I said, it looks like a beautiful moment, but when you think about it, the outside perspective is like, these people that he knows more and cares more about, they're getting killed, and that's not enough to push him. But this android that he randomly just he just met with a little bit, and he gave him a little bit of speech can push him. That is just stupid to me. So yeah, I never liked Gohan. I always thought he was a bitch. What he is right now is what he was always meant to be. I wouldn't have liked if he took over the helms of it, because he's just not a cool character. To me, he's not a badass. People saying he's a badass, no he's not. Vegeta's a badass. Goku's a badass. Piccolo's a badass. Tien's a badass. This Gohan is as much as a badass as Yamcha is a badass, which is none. He's not cool at all. He's lame to me. So I did not like that aspect either, that he took over and, you know, won and stuff. I just never gave a shit about it. Personally, I'm fine with other people winning it. I'm also even fine with Gohan winning it. But the thing that pissed me off, the people hyping up that Gohan did this. Gohan was never cool. The shit he did was never cool. So I never liked that either. So those are the reasons why I don't like it. I will go a little more in depth with the whole, you know, power thing. Like I said, I do not like the idea or the concept that, you know, a human creating, you know, a human using technology and, you know, material, like, you know, metals and stuff to create or enhance humans could create beings this powerful. It just never made sense to me that he was able to create an android as powerful as 16 and himself and these guys. Like, the only thing that really made sense in this arc was how powerful Cell was, because at least Cell was, it took the DNA from all the other like powerful beings and put it into one, so that made sense. But it doesn't make sense to me that two regular humans enhanced or cybernetically enhanced could surpass the power of Frieza. Think about it. Frieza is an alien, for one. Two, he can destroy planets and move faster than speed of light. You're telling me that machines and technology can tank planet destroying attacks and move at the speed of light, move them, or fire energy attacks that can destroy planets or even beyond that? Yeah, I'm not buying it. I never could buy that. Also, especially when you look at what the, you know, the Frieza's army did. They're an advanced alien society that, you know, enhanced him robotically. But guess what? His power didn't even go up that much, and he could die easily. This guy is a human using human tech, and he's using humans, which, if we're being honest, of using Frieza as a base, his base is already very powerful, so with the cybernetic enhancements, it should make him even more powerful. Whereas he used a base of 2 humans, which are really weak, and somehow these cybernetic enhancements were able to upgrade him to this level. It just always felt dumb to me that they were this powerful. I don't think, you know, the androids or 17 or the cyborgs should have been that powerful. It makes no sense that they were able to get that powerful with robotic stuff. Like I said, even if you took the hardest metal or the toughest metal in the universe and built it into, you know, put it into a person or just build a machine completely, it would not be tanking planet destroying attacks. It would not, even if you had like a natural energy source, it would not be, you know, it would not be shooting out energy that could destroy planets. It just never made sense to me that they would be past Frieza level. I think they should have came before Frieza, because they should have came when they were far weaker and stuff. So I didn't like that. Like I said, there was a couple things I did like. I love Trunks. I think Trunks was really great. The future, the time manipulation thing, I thought was also pretty interesting. Cell's design looked cool. His abilities looked cool. The idea of creating Cell, how he got created, was pretty cool to me. But besides that, also Super Saiyan 2 was pretty cool. But besides that, there wasn't really much in this arc. There wasn't really much that they shown. And like I said, there's just a lot of stuff I didn't like. I'm going to go through it again and just to reinstate the stuff that I didn't like. I did not like the fact that Goku died from a heart virus. I think that was stupid. I do not like the fact that they brought back the Red Ribbon Army with their technology making these characters this powerful. I don't think it makes any logical sense for cyborgs and androids to be this powerful to rival characters at this level, especially with the material they have. I don't like the fact that they just shoehorned in Dr. Gero when he was never mentioned before, and we're supposed to act like he was always there when in reality he was just an ass. Sorry for the weird jump cut. It just ended right there. I do not like the fact that, you know, he what's the thing called, that he just came out of nowhere and made them. I do not like the fact that that they could have prevented this, but they didn't for stupid, pointless reasons. I do not like the fact that, you know, Krillin could have ended it, but he didn't because he loved this girl because she kissed him once on the cheek, which was dumb to me. And, you know, Vegeta's one, it made sense, but Trunks, his one didn't make sense. I do not like the fact that, what's the thing called, that Gohan, people are dick ride Gohan saying he's amazing when in reality I always hate his character. I do not like Cell. I think his personality was lame. I thought he was a lame, you know, preppy kid, which doesn't sound badass to me. I think his motivations were dumb. The androids as a whole were kind of lame. How Gohan got his power by 16 instead of his people that were close to him getting killed, I felt was dumb. So yeah, as a whole, I think this arc was trash. A lot of stuff didn't make sense. The arc as a whole didn't make sense that these characters were this powerful, and Cell was never that in depth. None of the characters were that interesting for me. I just hated it all. I think it was just ridiculous. So yeah. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know some of you might not. I know a lot of you guys are going to disagree. Go ahead, feel free in the comment section. I did rant quite a bit and went off on it. It's just that I like I said, I hate this arc, but I especially hate when people overhype it and make it sound great. When in reality, when you look at it, there's a lot of stuff that was just stupid and didn't make sense. Now, if you disagree with me, feel free to go in the comment section and disagree. I don't mind having a conversation and even probably making a response video to it. But yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video.